Everybody, this is Peter. This is Julie.
Hey everybody, just sitting here waiting for everybody to get on. We're so excited to spend the time tonight. Tonight's one of my favorite things that we talk about. Anytime we talk about finding deals, that's always my favorite thing to do. But this is most certainly one of my absolute favorite things to talk about here. So I'm just gonna wait here a few minutes, Peter, if you don't mind talking, then we'll.
Sure. You know, it's funny that you say that because, you know, for the last, Julie and I have been working together for years now, and literally in the last couple days, that's the only thing Julie's been talking about. Like, I want to do more deals myself. I want to do more deals myself. It's like, you know, usually when people like do that, you know, we have a big business. There's just so many things that at Julie's level that she does here to actually get involved in deals. So kind of back in my mind, the last week or so, as she's been talking about it, I've been like thinking, well, that's cool. You know, I was looking for more deals, but I know you're doing a million things. We're doing deals like in 8-10 different states. We got, you know, local partners coming in all over the place. And then what happened really, and this is what we're going to talk about today, you know, Julie's like totally into this new, it's not a new strategy, but it's a strategy that she has really, really got a hold of. It's something that we've all been doing and talking about forever. But now with just the way that's being done, how she's implementing it at the local level here and also some of our partners across the nation, it's good stuff. But guys, before I forget, the key really to why we do these things is we want to teach you, but most importantly, we want to get active with you. We want you to be a participant in what we do. We want to do deals with you. We want to help you complete more deals. We want to partner with you. We want to fund all your deals. And the quickest way to get to us is through the Vekselman method. So it's a web-based community. We offer a ton of stuff there. It's a way to connect with Julie and I on a daily basis. It's a way to connect with local members and national members through our private Facebook page. It's a way to get all of our materials like direct mail. It's a way for you all to get all of our contracts that are just phenomenal. It's a way for you all to learn what it is we do here. It's a way for you to listen to the recordings Julie and I done. So the Vekselman method is an absolute must. If you're not part of it, it's $1 to join. It's a 14-day trial. After that, it's just $99 a month for a technology charge. Everything is month to month. You can stop anytime. I could tell you, if you're not part of the Vekselman method and you're listening to us, it's just all you're doing is you're kind of hearing things and you're going through the motions. Get into the Vekselman method. It's a way for you to get active. It's a way for you to get results. But the other very important thing I want to say before kind of talking about the driving for dollars that we're going to talk about tonight is we have a live event here coming up here in a couple short days this weekend on the 9th and 10th. If you haven't quite registered yet or if you haven't made a commitment, please do so. I know for some of you all, it's like you're thinking, well, it's 3 days ahead. Guys, this weekend's going to come by and it's going to go by. And before you know it, it's going to be next Monday or Tuesday. And either it's really one of two things. Either this weekend is going to be life-changing for you and it's going to be life-impacting for you and it's going to be earth-shattering for you, or it's going to be just another typical weekend. So whatever you do, whatever you have to do, whoever you have to kind of get to sit with your kids, whatever levers you got to pull to cancel whatever you have to do, I'm going to just say right now, it's an absolute no-brainer. And we take all the financial kind of commitments out of it because you come and it's on us. If you love the weekend, when it's over, you pay $750. If for some reason we do not meet your expectation, really just surpass all your expectations, the weekend's on us. So we take all the financial obligation burdens out of the equation. Guys, be here this weekend. I know Rafa is going to put up how you can register here throughout the webinar that we're doing tonight. But go ahead and register. We'll get you the content. We'll get you all the confirmation information once you've gone through the registration process. Remember, it's on us. You love it. You pay $750 when it's done. For some reason, we don't blow your mind when you're here. The weekend's on us. And then during this weekend, guys, we're going to tell you exactly what we do to be as successful as we have been. We're going to get really involved with you on a one-to-one basis. When you're done this weekend, you're going to see things you've never seen before. You're going to be a part of an organization here that's absolutely killing it. So you'll be able to see what it is we do on a daily basis. You'll be able to see how you could actually partner with us immediately upon leaving. We're going to have a party Saturday night at my lake house, which is going to be great. So go ahead and get yourself set up with the Vekselman method. And as you do that, you'll see there's an option to come to the weekend this weekend. Be there. It's going to be phenomenal. What we want to talk to you all about today is a very important concept, and this is one of the ways that we get deals out there. Actually, Julie's going to talk about a real-life deal here that she's doing as a result of this strategy here in the last couple of days. So she's going to go over all that, but it's driving for dollars. The reason we love talking about topics like this is this topic really transcends all geographical locations, all financial barriers, all educational barriers, everything. This is something that anyone can do. I don't care if you're spending $1 million a month in marketing or you're flat out broke and you can't spend money in marketing. I don't care if you've been doing this for 20 years or just getting started. This is a must-have. And the way that we do it here and the way Julie's going to talk about that she's currently implementing with a number of our local partners, it is flat out working. And it's kind of almost scary to say, but this method may be the best method in terms of what's going on in the marketplace right now and kind of which way the winds are blowing in terms of finding properties. This stuff here, if you don't have a pen and a pencil, I'm just going to tell you right now, get it. Get ready to write. Get ready to take notes because we got a very dynamic way for anyone tonight. Literally, after this, you can go out there, you can start implementing it, or whenever you're listening it and get results like that. It's driving for dollars. It's identifying the right kind of deal in your areas. So, Julie, what's it all about?
Well, first off, at the beginning, you said, I'm a little bit taken back by the fact that I'm so excited to go get these deals. The reason I'm in this business is because of going to get deals. It's something, in my life that brings me great joy. And it should you guys too. If you're going to be in this business, you should absolutely love it. And and I really do too. So this type of marketing, guys, is more of a guerrilla based marketing, okay? Which means it requires time, effort, and energy. It doesn't require a lot of money, but it does require your time. So if you are going to use the strategy, then you need to absolutely make sure that you are giving 110%. The reason why individuals, I feel, decide not to give it 110% is because they just don't believe in it, right? And I want you to know that it absolutely works. And I'm going to break it down into the simplest of terms, okay? Essentially, what you are doing is you're going out, looking around in neighborhoods and things, looking for the exact property that you feel is a great investment opportunity. Then you are coming back and you're skip tracing to find the owner and cold calling, and or you're sending them a piece of direct mail. But what I want to do is kind of break it down for you so you know exactly what areas to spend your time in. And Peter, nobody's better than you than identifying hodgepodge markets. And I would say once you identify these places, which he's going to go over, then, I'll kind of go over the next steps. So Peter, kind of explain to me what you feel like are the best areas to find deals in.
Well, look, guys, when it comes to real estate, if you look at it from a broad perspective, there's really two types of areas that we all have that are part of our cities and towns. There's what are known as cookie cutter areas, and we all have those, and there's what are known as hodgepodge, and we all have those. Cookie cutter areas, you guys know those. Those are the neighborhoods, you're there, and everything looks the exact same way. It's all like 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 400 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 400 square feet. Everything looks the same. Those are the areas that we typically as investors need to stay away from for one very basic reason. Because everything tends to look the same, it also tends to sell for the same price, okay? Now, look, I know what you're thinking. Well, gosh, Pete, we're getting good deals, not necessarily because of where it's located, but because of the of the situation taking place inside the house. Well, here's why these cookie cutter areas still are not the best places to be. Let's say you're in a neighborhood where everything looks pretty much the same way, right? And let's say because it all kind of looks the same way, people tend to be selling their properties for around, I don't know, 150,000 or so, right? So now let's say you do have one of those situations that we talk about, like a divorce, a death, somebody's moving out, somebody's moving in, and so this somewhat distress gets created, and that's what usually causes, or one of the big reasons for price drops. I think about if I'm in an area where everything looks the same, and my house looks the same, and everybody's selling their property for around 150. Now let's say I got to get rid of. Why in the world would I sell my property for $50,000? There's no reason. Everyone's got their 150. Even if I have a situation, I might drop it a little bit below everybody. Maybe I'll go to 140, 130, just to kind of be ahead of the market, right, to get a quick sale. But still nowhere near the kind of price drop that we as investors are looking for. You know, we want that property to be somewhere around 100,000, maybe 109 or whatever. But now let's go back to these hodgepodge pockets. Hodgepodge pockets are the opposite of cookie cutter. Hodgepodge is where you're driving around and everything just looks all over the place. You know, you got a black guy, you got a white guy, you got for rent, you got for sale, you got renovated properties, you got gorgeous properties, you got newer properties, you got older properties, you're in a residential area, or all of a sudden you see commercial building. See, in those areas, because you have this mixture of real estate, what that does naturally is that creates what are known as natural pricing fluctuations. Mm-hmm. So in those areas, you know, you could be looking at one house, let's say it's for sale for $50,000, and it's like you go a block down the road, you see another house for sale for $100,000, right? Now, in of itself, that means absolutely nothing. It hasn't. This does not mean that $50,000 is a great deal, that $100,000 is a bad deal. That's not what it means. But statistically, here's what we do know that it means. In these pockets where we have these types of pricing fluctuations, mm-hmm. Simply put, these pockets create the number one environment where almost all the good deals are located. So, as you all start plotting out where you want to do your driving for dollars, where you want to start looking for opportunities, you want to stay away from the cookie cutter areas because they don't have as many good deals because there's really not as much of a need to create good deals there. Where you want to be is in these hodgepodge pockets because hodgepodge have all types of properties. All types of properties create these pricing fluctuations, and in turn, the pricing fluctuations create the number one environment where almost all the good deals are located. Mm-hmm. So if you're sitting here listening tonight and you have, let's say, some kind of you have limited resources, you have a limited amount of time, you got 1 hour a week you could spend on this thing. And you're like, well, I'm not going to I can't do what Julie says. Man, I live in an area that's, you know, it's got 2 million people. Well, here we go. We're teaching how to be strategic. You don't need to be spending half an hour driving in areas where everything looks the same. You know, let's say you have limited resources, okay? Again, be focused in the pockets and be focused in areas where you have the best shot, the best operating results. Mm-hmm. And so what you want to do as you start implementing what Julie's about ready to teach you is first you want to identify some of these hodge pockets in your marketplace. And literally what you're looking for is looking for areas that have all kinds of stuff, all kinds of people, all kinds of stuff. Identify 4 or 5 areas like that. And that's where you want to start implementing our driving for dollars strategy.
Yes. So now what I'm going to go over the next little bit is some examples of some properties that really you should be looking for. So let me give you some signs. Number 1, grass is really high. House needs to be painted. Roof is in bad shape. Lots of cars in the yard. Something as simple as blinds and curtains that aren't hung or have big holes in it. That's kind of an example of maybe like a rental house or maybe a vacant home. And those are going to be absolutely perfect for you. So what I've got is I'm actually going to show you a few photos of over the last couple of weeks, some properties in which I did some driving for dollars in different states, okay? So let me show you this one. And I've got a bunch of different states here, guys, because I want to show you this can be done anywhere. This is actually in Turlock, California. This is a picture of a house in a hodgepodge neighborhood with a little bit smaller of a home, bunch of trash cans in the front, a window unit in the window. It's telling me that that particular property is not best. It would be a good suitable for a rental probably. Here's another property in Jacksonville, Florida. If you notice here, there's a big hole in the blind, probably a tenant with a dog. And then in this window, they don't even have a blind, and it's a blanket. These are signs to me that this is an absolute investment property. There's a little bit of issue with some of the siding on this house, some things around the windows. This is an indication of a little bit of a distressed home. So guys, don't constantly be looking for fallen down properties. Look for things like this where the blinds are messed up, where someone's got sheets hanging in the window. I mean, you know, think about it. If you can't afford a $12 set of blinds from Walmart and you've got to have a sheet in your window, we've probably got some issues. That's either telling me the owner is distressed or it's a tenant, you know, in this home. Another example, this one is another home in Florida. Bushes are all grown up. Yes, the paint is fine, but you've got wires running across the front of the house. You know, I'm knowing this is an investment property or maybe a rental house that I'm wanting to acquire. Here's another great example of maintenance that hasn't been done to a property. And I'm just kind of giving you an idea. This one I wanted to show you. This is a sign that I want you to look for, guys. Outside looking in, this house looks great. Look at the window to the right of that front door, and you'll notice that the curtains are falling down, okay? And if you get closer to this home, you'll notice a lot of other issues. I can tell by looking at these certain things that this property is a distressed property. Also, when I set the appointment, if it was an actual owner-occupied property, they would have fixed that prior to me getting there because, my goodness, that's the first thing you see when you drive up. Sorry, this picture is sideways, but this is a house that I went to today, actually, doing driving for dollars. This is a home that I went to today. Actually, this home was actually burnt up in the inside. So this is a little bit worse of a property that you might run into. You know, hope everybody's back on. And please, during this, guys, please feel free to ask any question. Because even if you think it's a silly question, other people are probably thinking the same thing. Now, what I do here is in my truck, I actually have a center console with a notepad. I literally, and when I'm driving anywhere, I don't care if I'm going out to dinner, going to someone's house, I do nothing but write these addresses down. Then I come back to my office the next day, and I skip trace those. And what skip tracing literally means is it's a program that allows me to search for the actual owner's new mailing address and their cell phone numbers. So I'm probably just going to straight up cold call these individuals, and that's what I do. I cold call them and I ask for an appointment to come see their home and make them a cash offer. The script is nothing more like this. Jan, hey, how are you? God, I know this is a shot in the dark, possibly. However, I was driving by your property at 123 Main Street, and I absolutely loved it. And I was just wondering if maybe you might be interested in hearing an offer from me. Because, you know, I flip houses, I buy houses, and I turn them into rentals. And I really feel like this is something I would love. Would you be willing to meet with me and possibly hear an offer from me? You would be very, very surprised when you take that approach with individuals and you really talk to people like people and don't sound scripted and let them know exactly what you're doing, how many people will allow you to come and give them an offer for their property? This same situation's happened to me a couple times this week. I'm going to show you a house that that I got last week, just like this. Okay, so let me go back to the share screen. Please forgive me, it takes me just a second here. Here is a property that last Friday I did a cold call on. You could see here's the front step. I cold called this lady on Friday, told her I would meet her at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Me and one of the ladies that's in our coaching program went to this home and walked through it. I'll just take you guys through it so you could see a little bit about what some of these houses look like on the inside. This does not scare me. This is pretty decent shape, wouldn't you say, Peter? For a fix and flip. Sorry, guys, you're going to get some photos of us while we were there. These are just some photos of this house. If you'll look, the reason I know this is a great fix and flip in one of these hodgepodge areas, if you look at this backyard, couldn't you imagine kids playing back here, the next beautiful home for someone? So these are just some pictures of this particular house. Some things that need to be done. This house was sitting vacant. Now, you know, I'm sure you're done with seeing the photos, you know, of this particular property here. That's Miss Belinda, one of the ladies I work with, you know, and going to get deals. I actually went to an appointment with her to get this. But essentially, guys, the best thing, you know, about that is within 1 day we had a deal. Now just wait till you hear the numbers on this particular deal. I don't have it on a screen share, but right here is the actual contract for this property that we went and got. The ARV after repair value on this property is $230,000. I got this property under contract for $95,000. That house needs about, I'd say probably 50 or 60, give or take a little bit. I haven't gotten through my numbers yet. But either way, it was a deal. Look, guys, this is the thing. You can spend all your money on direct mail, which works. You can use all other strategies. My point is that there is nobody out there that wants to be in this business that does not have the time to go look at houses, cold call people, and go out there and get a deal. So please stop making excuses for this business. I promise you, this work. This is the third deal that I've helped students with in the last 3 days where I went on the appointment with them. It works. It works. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. Now let's talk about taking it a step forward. The next thing I would do, if I didn't get a hold of the owner, I would actually handwrite on the outside of the envelope their name and address. Who is going to not open a piece of mail that you have hand addressed? You know, I'm pretty sure you guys can afford a stamp and to write a letter. So if you did 20 to 30 of these a week, I know you have the time and energy to send out 30 little pieces of mail. Wouldn't you agree?
No question, no question. And one of the things that I was talking to Julie about today, why I like this strategy so much, is that, you know, we have been doing direct mail here for years. We sent hundreds of thousands, probably over 1 million pieces of direct mail out. And so what this strategy does, it incorporates everything into one. But what it does is it accentuates. It, you know, it's not just driving for dollars and knocking on doors. It's driving for dollars strategically. It's not just sending direct mail out kind of like we do somewhat indiscriminately into big areas. It's sending direct mail and sending letters into very strategic places. And when you're doing that, you're getting a big bang for your dollar. You know, when you're doing direct mail like we do, like where we're going by zip codes and areas, you know, I spend tens of thousands of dollars blanking it in an area where really maybe in that whole neighborhood, 10 houses are really a real opportunity. This, when you're driving for dollars, you're strategically being very selective and pinpointing with what you're doing. So it takes the best of all the strategies and it just molds it into that one very, very laser focused way of doing it. So and again, it's especially in today's markets and environment where it's very competitive everywhere, you got to be smart. You got to be smart with your time. You got to be smart with your resources. You got to be smart with your money, and most importantly, you got to be smart with your marketing strategies. And the reason I love this so much is it literally laser focused on very specific types of properties. The other thing I like about this one, especially as it relates to if you're going to send a letter out, or maybe you call in an owner and you remember the property, when you just kind of indiscriminately send things out or market like we do, whether it's a billboard or a sign or direct mail, and a seller calls us and then they say something like, well, which property you're calling about? We have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
We send out 20,000 pieces of mail at a time. We have no idea who's calling us. So what it does, it makes it a little bit impersonal. Now we feel like we have good lines for it. We know how to turn those and all this. But guess what? When you're actually out in the streets and you see this house like that Julie's pointing about, and I remember every one of these houses, and then I send a letter to them or I make a call to them and they're like, well, why my property? Or, well, you're contacting me. Yeah, because your house, that greenhouse. And let me tell you something, man, I know you know this, so I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but man, that roof's about ready to come. You know what I mean? So it right away makes that seller really appreciate that, wow, they are just talking about my house. You're not. You're probably going after 20 houses, 50 houses at the same time. But because you're actually out there, you're kind of remembering these, you're able to have a lot more intelligent, a lot more personable conversations with sellers. And that's a big piece, isn't it?
Yeah, and another big piece, when I was talking to you about of what to say to somebody, guys, I want you to go back to whenever you were dating, whenever you wanted to date your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or what have you. And I want you to think about this for a minute. How do you get someone to like you when you want to date them? You have any idea? What do you do to get someone's attention? You compliment them.
Compliment them.
Right. You see a girl and you really like her. Oh, honey, you look so beautiful. I do the same thing with properties. Ma'am, I love your property. It's exactly what I want. What that does, guys, is I'm able to do that with this strategy. What that does is it takes the barrier down. It doesn't make someone feel like I'm going to come in and lowball them, or I'm going to do something, that isn't going to work for them. Immediately they're like, oh, I have something that's somebody wants it and it matters. I don't feel like she's going to lowball me. I'm going to get an appointment over you every day of the week by talking to a person like a person. Set an appointment, go out there, do my negotiations, and get it under contract. So many of you have not done your first deal, and you have a big failure to launch. A lot of times that failure to launch is, number one, because you don't believe. You've got to get over that yourself. You see many people being successful at this. And the next biggest thing is money. What I'm telling you does not cost you that much money. If you don't have a couple $100 to spend in this, you aren't going to be able to really do anything. The strategy I'm telling you involves gas money, your time, and a stamp and an envelope and a piece of paper. Please tell me that you have that. Give it a try. And if you really want to take it to the next level, do like I do. Peter and I have teenagers. I bring my list home and I make my 15-year-old write these envelopes out. I mean, come on. We do all this stuff for our kids. They can help us out, right? So guys, I encourage you to use this strategy. It works. Not to brag, but this strategy's made our company, you're welcome, Peter, $112,000, or it will yield us that in the next couple of months, just over this effort alone. And yes, I'm probably going to close more deals just because I have more experience. But guys, the more appointments you go to, the more opportunities that you have, the better you're going to be. So get out there and do this. And one thing, I'm very passionate about this business. I'm very passionate about getting out there and doing deals. But One thing too, and if you don't mind, I'm going to try to sell you something here. We do these webinars. I want you to learn, but I am going to, tell you what I'm looking for from you. Number one, we do have the Vekselman Method private community. Peter and I have recorded hours upon hours of training on real estate investing and how to do it. Just like he said in the beginning, it's going to teach you driving for dollars, direct mail. You're going to be able to get our contracts, our scripts, our dialogues, everything you need. You're also going to be placed in a community of other individuals in the same place that you are. And we're all there to motivate each other. And also, I'm there to answer your questions. All right? I'm not trying to be ugly, but you're not just going to call me out of the blue and I'm going to just give you advice to every Tom, Dick, and Harry in America. In this community, I promise you guys, I care about my people. I go on appointments with my people and I answer their questions. Peter does too. We just want you to be successful like we've been. It's changed my life. One day, hopefully you'll hear my story about how I was bankrupt and was flat broke on my back. And this business changed my life. I'm very passionate about it, and I want it for you if you want it for yourself. Take the strategy, go use it, and take all these excuses away. And by the way, our community you can join it for $1 because for 14 days for a free trial. And then after that, it's only $99 a month. And guys, that is a technology fee for us to keep the website going and someone to put all the little videos up and do the Facebook. And I wish I knew more about that, but I don't. So we have to pay somebody to do that for us. But if you've seen Peter, we've got a lot of things going right now where we fund it and you find it. Most of these individuals that we're partnering on deals with came out of our community.
Yep.
Because they know how we work.
Absolutely. They're all tied into our community at this point, I could tell you. So guys, the strategy that Julie just talked to you about, it sounds great. It'll only work if you implement it. But I will tell you, we want to personally help you implement it. And this is what Julie's been talking about. That's done when you become part of our world, our community, because then we can communicate with you. Then we can talk to you. We can strategize with you. Then we can get information to you in a timely manner. And that's really the only way we know that you exist. So for those of you that are watching this, please go to thevekselmanmethod.com. You'll see a link available right below this video. Click on it, register for $1. It's a 14-day trial. After that, if you love it, like we know you will, it's just a monthly fee, which can be canceled at any time. Most importantly, when you join, please make sure you register for our live event. Next one's coming up here in just a couple of days. We hope to see, I know there's a number of you all that are listening to this that are going to be here already. We want a couple more of you all here because we feel like we got an unbelievable program for you here this weekend. Both what Julie and I have in store for you, but also what other people that are going to be here in store for you. Our top negotiator is going to be here. You're going to see people here that are helping us do deals. You're actually going to meet some people that we're doing deals with. So your whole, not only belief level in this whole business is going to go up this weekend, but your whole understanding is going to go up, and you're going to be way, way more committed no matter how committed you are, and you're going to start taking action. So we want to make sure that you get registered for the live event. And other than that, guys, I don't know what else there is to say.
I don't have anything, but I know if you're going to watch our webinars in the future, you just watch. There are going to be people that are going to be at our live event this weekend that will be on these future webinars. I don't do this to, toot my own horn, be on videos. That's not my gig if you know me anyway. I do this to find deals and to meet other like-minded people that love to do deals. You just watch. Our next success story is going to be here this weekend. So
fully believe that.
I know it's going to happen.
I fully believe it. I know Julie's passionate about it. So go ahead and register. We'll see you all this weekend. If anyone has any questions, definitely this is the time to ask. We'll stay on as long as we have to. If you don't have any questions, go ahead and register. We'll see you guys on the other side. We'll be welcoming you aboard with our team members will, and we look forward to working with you.
And I want to give a shout out to Timothy. Hey, Timothy, Shirley, Ron, Jamari. You're always there. I love you, Jamari. He's here in Atlanta with us. Dawn and Dan and Alyssa, thank you for joining us. Get out there and just make this happen, please. I promise you it works. And Jamari, you already know it works. So we want to be there for you. We want you to be successful. I'm waiting to see if anybody have any questions, and I'm just assuming you don't. I think we were pretty clear. But just, come join us this weekend. Be in our community, a community that cares about your success. And if you want to get to the next level, it's a lot easier to get there with somebody holding your hand than you walking by yourself. Babies don't just get up and start walking without their mama or daddy helping them, right?
No question. No question about it, guys. So if you have any questions, this is the time to ask. I know a number of y'all are signing off. Hopefully it's to go ahead and get registered for the Vekselman method and sign up for a live event. If there's any questions, this is the time to ask, guys. But other than that, we look forward to working with y'all.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I'm going to get home and get some rest after looking at all these properties today. I'm a little wore out. So.
And I got a deal right here that just got emailed to me from one of y'all, so this is great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Good. All right. Have a blessed evening.
Peace. See you guys.